Vegas Golden Knights' Nate Schmidt has tested positive for a random drug test and has been suspended for 20 games by the NHL. Or the amount that you get suspended for just randomly cross-checking a ref.
Banged up, and he's going to try and make his way to the bench. And there's the collision with Don Henderson. He doesn't even see the linesman.
Or half the amount that you get if you have a rap sheet and just try to destroy Silverberg for no reason. But this marks an interesting time for the NHL. They don't test very much, so this strong stance shows that they have a little bit of a war on drugs at the moment. No. You're still fine. Don't worry. We're not testing for you. Just performance enhancers. Oh, thank God. But 20 games seems like a lot, and a lot of people online have had mixed opinions about it. The reason why it is 20 games is because, believe it or not, they only test 60 players during the summer. To put things into perspective, there are roughly 700 odd players that play in the NHL every single season. These are players that get called up, thrown down, you get the idea. Out of all of them, during the summer, not even 10% of them get randomly drug tested. Now, there are drug tests during training camp, but you generally have a good idea when they're going to be doing that, as it's training camp, so you can make sure you get all those sweet supplements out of your system. And that is why the suspension is so high for something that could be minor, and it looks like it might be, but the suspension needs to be high. As I said, they only test 10% of them in the off-season, so the deterrent is, if you're one of those 10% and you get caught, you're sitting for a long time and going to miss out on about $500,000 if you have a good contract. Now, I don't know about you, $500,000 is a lot of money. A lot of money. Now we get into the fun bit, and this is Schmidt coming out and saying it was like a minuscule amount, I don't know how it got there, all those things like that. And to that I say, look, you probably took something. I can't flat out say it because I didn't see the report, but these things are generally governed by WADA, and they have a good track record in this whole situation. This is what they do for a living. This is it. They just test for drugs. So because you have a trace amount of them, yeah, when they pull your blood vial, there's not going to be just a supplement pill just coming up with it. It's going to be a small trace amount. And it may have been that you did it, 6 weeks ago, and it's still just a little bit in your system. Doesn't mean you didn't do it 6 weeks ago. And you look at the history, you've got Lance Armstrong who constantly said, yeah, no, I never did it, and then came out and was like, yeah, you know what I did once his career's over. It's because it's career suicide if these guys go out and say, yeah, you know what, I cheated. Good luck getting an endorsement deal from that point on. Look at every baseball player that hit a home run in the 90s and the noughties. They were all juicing there, and again, they all came out, no, don't know how that showed up on my drug report, and then, a few years later, apologizing, crying in front of the media. Now, granted, because it's not a massive ban, and usually WADA releases things if it is quite big, if WADA is involved. I haven't been able to figure out whether WADA was or not, and it's very hard to see if it is, but I'm assuming it is because it's a nationalized sport that has a drug test, so usually the World Anti-Doping Authority is kind of around that. I bring it back to Australia and the AFL. It found out that an entire club was pretty much injecting their team with Lord knows what, and the fact that the team doesn't even know what that is, that's fantastic. But that was made very public because of how horrendous it was. Usually if it's something bad, they release it. If it's something small, they usually just tell the league that's involved and say, hey, this has shown up as a positive. May want to just slap him on the wrist. And that's what happened here. It was probably a supplement of some variety, judging by the 20-game suspension, that is banned. And you know what, he got caught with it. It's no real big deal. I'm sure it isn't one of those massively performance-enhancing things, but I bet you it's one of those ones that sort of help your recovery from injury or something like that. So, and that's pure speculation on my part. I'll give that caveat, but I have a bit of a history and I know what they kind of test for. So usually in other sports, if it's this kind of suspension, that's usually what it is. Not throwing the book at him sort of shows that, yeah, it is probably a one-off for this player, and it may have just been some injury prevention thing. Anyway, guys, that is the whole video. What did you think of the video? Did you have fun? What do you think? Do you think I'm right? Do you think it's something small? Do you think he's being ripped off? Definitely not cocaine. Definitely not. If they tested for that, everyone would be banned, because everyone takes it. Comment down below Do you think it's a fair ban? I think it's fair. I mean, it's a good deterrent. Like, if you cheat and you get caught, you should sit out. You should sit out. Even if it's minor, it's still, the rules are rules. And the other argument I saw was like, well, how are they to know what all these drugs are? They have team doctors. They have team doctors, and that's what their job is. Their job is to say, yep, he's fine when he's not fine and has concussion. And to, you know, make sure that whatever they're pumping into his body is legitimate. Anyway, guys, if you did like this video, hit that like button. Otherwise, hit subscribe. That does really, really help me out. And, yeah, we've got a podcast. It's a Hockey Night. It's everywhere. Link down below. If you got CastBox, any of the apps that play the things, look at it. It's me, a guy from Pittsburgh. You're coming for me. But he's there as well. I can't shut him up. It's a thing. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. See you, and... oh, it's good stuff. Bye. Oh, thank God.
You got a little.
Just a little. Is that my issue? Just a little bit. Just something on my face. Oh, that's so ridiculous. Do you ever regret dating me?